Hi, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is another cocoa box, but this time it's with the regular cocoa. I figured I did one with the unusual long cocoa. Now this is just the regular Swiss Miss or Nestle, whichever you want. They're about the same size. It opens like this. So what you can do is, instead of, I have May Your Season Sparkle here, but you could attach a little gift card. You can put another piece of the DSP there and just tuck it in, or you can just tuck your gift card in here. It will fit in there perfectly, just like that. And then I have 2 Swiss Miss packets in there. You can put one and then one of those chocolate spoons or peppermint spoons. But last year I got the peppermint spoons from Dollar Tree, and my kids told me they were awful. They tasted like cherry cough medicine, bad. And they were supposed to be peppermint, so I opted out of any of that kind of thing. I used to go to Tuesday Morning, and they would have such cute things, like peppermint stick things and all of that on little wood sticks and stuff, but they closed by me. It's so sad. That was one of my favorite little trinket places and little goodie places. Okay, so that's what it is. I used a whole lot of stamp sets and die sets for this. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but I used the Snow Wonder stamp set for the snowman, the Celebration label dies for the top shape, the layering circle dies for this little circle here, little treat box dies for this scallop circle, warm hug stamp set for the For You, and Snowflake Wishes for the snowflake that I stamped right in the middle. And of course the Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper I used. Okay, so we have to start out with a piece of Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper that is 11 7/8 by 4 inches. Okay, and this is the side we want. And we're going to put it in on the long side, which is 11 7/8. Okay, so it's 11 7/8, which I did it just for the ease of having this box and having it fold around it. So we're going to score on that side at 5 5/8 and 6 3/8. Okay. And you don't have to score it on the other side. All right, so now we need a piece. We'll put that aside and we'll get our inner box, which is 8 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, and we're going to score the 8 3/4 inch side at 4 3/4. And then we're going to turn it to the 5 inch side, and we're going to score it at 3/4 and 4 1/4. Okay. All right. Let's start with this piece. I'm going to fold and burnish. And I'm going to use the largest of the Celebration label dies, and we're going to put your die down and put your paper through, because we want it to cut only the top. We don't want to cut it through. And then I just make sure that it's about even. You could put a dot right in the middle of your paper, which this is 4 inches, so you could put a dot at 2 inches if you want to be exact. I'm just measuring these two sides and seeing what it looks like. Okay. And then I'm just going to get a piece of my tape. And now I'm only going to run it through. Well, this is a little bit crooked here. There we go. I'm going to only run it through a little bit because I know it won't cut this, but it's going to make that bumpy line. So I'm just going to run it through and pull it back. And I'm going to do it on both sides and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, let me get this off. Okay, and there we go. See how we have it on both ends, but the middle's not cut? Alrighty. So that's done now. Now we're going to take our inside box, and I'm also going to fold and burnish. I really got to change my blades. It's still that same one that I ran the magnet through. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do, now this one was shorter, I made it a little longer, but it's going to be the same thing. All we have to do is liberate the tabs in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to go to the long side and I'm going to cut right outside the score mark at the end of this long rectangle and then outside on the other side. So the score marks are left on the square, and then I'm just going to wedge the square a little bit, and that takes care of our score line there. And do the same on the other side. Rectangle straight, wedge the square. Okay, now we need our tear and tape. And we're going to put our tear and tape on the back of the little tabs. Okay, so it closes. This is the right way. We put it like, it's going to be like on the bottom. Okay, so we'll do that first, and we'll attach it to one. So that means that the tear and tape has to go on the inside of these flaps. Usually I do the tear and tape separate, but it's going to be a little bit harder to put it on once this piece is attached. So there, I'm going to put this on the outside closest to the edge. Okay. Okay, first we're going to do the tabs. And this is Night of Navy, if I didn't tell you before. Night of Navy cardstock. Okay, and we're going to attach it and make it square. Make sure that the edges are straight together here to the one that doesn't have the tear and tape on it. Okay, so if you don't put your tear and tape on beforehand, you can just do it to whichever one you want. Now, you could put tear and tape on there pretty easily if you wanted to. After. Okay, I'm just going to take this off. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that it's square again. Turn it over and do the same thing. Okay. Okay, now we need this, and this is going to be our outside. So we need to put I guess I'm going to do Terra tape. I used liquid glue on my sample. Yeah, it didn't wrinkle it at all, so let's use liquid glue again. Okay, and we're going to put glue on the side that has the seam in the back, okay? And I'm going to try to get it up. Make sure all 4 corners, and then I go all around. So I got a little over. All right. Now we're going to put it just above the score line. Just making sure that it's centered right in the middle so that this can freely close. There we go. Now I just have to make sure that I have it centered. Yes. And I'm just going to put my hand in. I'm going to press. Okay. There we go. Okay, now for the inside, I have a piece of the other side of the DSP, the side that matches the inside I'm going to use. That is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And we're going to stamp it with the sentiment from, is it Snow Splendor? I forget always. Snowflake Splendor. May your season sparkle. And I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm just going to put it right towards the top. Excuse my head. Well, there you go. Okay, let me get my seal. Okay, now I just need, I use the Swiss Miss chocolates, hot chocolate. I'm just going to shake it so that everything's not at the bottom so we can get it in there nice and snugly. Okay, it's in there good. Doesn't bulge or anything. All right, just make sure that it's down far enough so that it doesn't show through the back or the front. Okay, so now we're going to close it, and we're going to match these up as best we can, the front and the back. And I'm going, oops, and I'm going to get my hole punch. I'm going to go probably 1/4 inch down. Just make sure, whoops, shouldn't have let go. Just have to make sure I stay kind of in the middle. Okay, my camera decided it was going to freeze. So I completed it without realizing that I wasn't being filmed. Okay, I believe that it froze when I was punching the hole. None of this was on yet. So I'm going to show you what I did. I cut this label, which I believe is the second largest label in the Celebration label dies. Second to last. Let me just, oh, I put it away. Darn. It's the one that fits nicely around the snowman. Okay, I cut that out. I cut from the Little Treat Box dies in Night of Navy, this scallop circle. This circle I stamped first, which I'm going to go over, and then I cut this with a layering circle dies, which just cuts right outside of the dots, which is great. And I used Balmy Blue on the snowflake. But let's do all that again. Okay, so I put the ribbon through the 2 holes, which is the metallic mesh ribbon, which is was great for Halloween, but it's great for Christmas too, especially with this set. Okay, so with Memento ink, I stamped this snowman from Snow Wonder stamp set. Okay. And I stamped from Warm Hughs stamp set the sentiment, which is for you. I'll put it over here in Night of Navy. Okay. And then with Balmy Blue, I stamped the snowflake from Snowflake Wishes stamp set. Good. Okay. All right. And then I used, for the hat, I used light smoky, nope. Here it is, sorry. Light smoky slate. And this is really nice because it's already pretty much shaded for you. You just kind of just color the lighter color around it. Okay. For the berries, I used dark real red. I used dark shaded spruce for the holly leaves. I used light Night of Navy for the scarf. I used dark pumpkin pie for the nose. And then I used Balmy Blue just around the edges of the snowman, just to give him a little bit of like a little shadow of the blue effect that you get from snow sometimes, just around the edges. And then I did a little bit through the snow here, that right on the lines, just to give it a little bit of an effect of snow glowing back at you. Okay, and then I used, for this, I used the layering circle die. And for the snowman, I used the matching snow time dies to cut them out. All right. Then I took this silver foil label. I put dimensionals on the back. I used 5, and I pressed it on. Now, the snowman, I made sure I didn't use liquid glue on it this time because I had to redo it on my sample because I wanted to readjust it and it just smeared all over. So I put seal all on the back of this, and I just put 1 or 2 dots, little dots of glue on the arms. And then I stuck it down. I used liquid glue to put the circle onto the scallop Night of Navy circle, and then I put 3 dimensionals right here underneath and put it on. Now we need, what did I do with those now? Here they are. I used some blue adhesive back gems. I put 1 big one here in this hump and 1 on either side of the small ones. Okay. I put a little bit of Wink of Stella. I just very, very gently went down the line so that it stayed in the stamping lines. Make it a little shiny. And then the final touch, I put a small gem right in the middle of the snowflake. That one, I guess I didn't do that before, so that's good. Okay. And that's it. So you have another hot cocoa pouch that you can put a gift card in if you wanted it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you wanted to purchase any of these supplies from Stampin' Up! From me, you can use the address at the top of the screen, which is katherinetiemann.stampinup.net. And if you like this video, please like, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everybody that follows me. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye.